One of the biggest things I hear from people about presentations is this: I'm fine when I know what I'm talking about. The problem is, I think we feel like sometimes we really don't know what we're talking about. And even bigger than that, what you tend to find you're doing is presenting information that other people have given you to, say, the board. So how do you get to a place where you really feel like and sound like you know what you're talking about? The answer is in creating personal connection with the content. A few years ago, I saw this beautiful TED Talk just online from the poet Sarah Kay. She starts actually the TED Talk with this beautiful poem that I really recommend that you watch. It's this idea of coming back to like home base. Oh, it's so lovely. I've actually written it out a few times and given it to friends because it's so meaningful. But she then goes on to do this talk about when she encourages teenagers to write poems. When she goes into schools, she does this exercise where she gets them to write down 10 things you know to be true about you. Those 10 things can be things like, I have a cat, or I really love watching Game of Thrones, or my favourite TV show at the moment is Rooster. It's really good, by the way, I'd watch it. Or it could be things that annoy you. So I know to be true about myself that there is a roundabout I drive up to in Manchester and it freaks me out every single time because it throws me off the wrong way. All these wonderful things that you know about yourself, they can be things you love, things you hate, they're ridiculous. And then the next step of the exercise is that she got these teenagers in the room to just read the list out to each other. And as they read the list out, they have moments where they go, oh yeah, I know that, I've got that. And for those teenagers who are sitting there thinking, I'm not creative, I'm not a poet, it gives them some source material. It gives them this idea that they can connect with people through these lovely personal moments. And there's loads of research out there that just says the more personal you are, the more universal you are. So the more we understand who we are, the more we understand our own opinions, thoughts, and feelings and stories about the subject that we're talking about, the more likely we are to connect with the audience. And that is the big goal, right? We want to be connecting with the audience so that they come with us on our journey. So at the Presenter Coach, we actually use this technique and apply it directly to creating presentation content. We call it the dip and grab. And what we're asking you to do is dip into yourself and be really honest and quick about the topic. So you can do the 10 things that you know to be true about yourself, but that's for a different day. When you have the topic of the presentation in front of you, when you know what you're talking about, you'll have gathered some lovely stories around the stats, around the history, around maybe some examples of how the product works, for example. But what you won't have done is you won't have thought about, how do I connect with this? So one of the best exercises that we ever do is we get participants to write down the 10 things that they really love, hate, think, feel, know about the topic that they're talking about. And this is when I want it to be really superhuman. It's like, what does it feel like to use this product? What does it feel like to see this product in action? What is your favorite bit about this product? I'm saying product or report. What's your favorite bit about this report? What's the most exciting numbers on the page? What is it that you really are frustrated about? Get that down on the paper. And that is where your source comes from to connect with your audience. So if there are things on there like, it's really weird when you see a graph do this, that's a really great starting point. It's a bit odd to see the graph do this. And I know when I'm looking at graphs at home, I'm thinking, why is it doing that? But the reasoning behind it is, and these are just little ways to connect with the audience throughout a presentation. One of my favorite techniques to do is, and you can do that this week in all of your talks and all of your presentations, all of your team briefings. What do I know to be true about this? What's the dip and grab? And I would really encourage you to go to 10 things, because I'll tell you what happens is the first few things feel really obvious, but when you get down to the 10th thing, you're in a space where you're going, oh, that's a bit weird. Do I say that? And that's probably where you will connect. If you want more tips like this, make sure you are on the mailing list, because this video drops every single Sunday directly into your mailing list and gives you some great tips that you can use to help you be a better presenter and a better leader. I'll be back next week with another set for you. Remember, great communication will change your life. And if you want to get in touch with us, head to thepresentercoach.co.uk.